Hello guys, welcome to Street Jam. Today we'll be comparing two 16mm XF lenses from Fujifilm. And the first one is the 1.4 version. Firstly, we will make the brick wall test. Well, the XF-16 1.4. Overall, the image quality looks quite alright. But as we zoom in, we notice it is very soft, even in the middle of the image. As we move to the corners, we get to the cotton space. But these are 250% crops. No one is going to notice it looking at the whole image. Well, at the f1.8 we see a great improvement in the contrast, and the middle of the image appears sharper this time. And we get a slight more definition on the corners, but nothing big. At 2.8, contrast stays steady at this point. The middle of the image doesn't get much sharper. But again, the corners, there is a slight improvement. At 5.6, as we check the whole image, it appears to be more contrasty overall. And the middle gets sharper a bit, but this time the corners don't get much advancement. At f8, image gets really sharp overall. From the middle to corners of the image, it gets razor sharp. Now the XF-16 f2.8 version. As we look at the whole image, wide open, first thing we notice is that the cheaper lens is wider. Yeah, you're seeing it right. It was like from the same distance, and it is wider. At f2.8 this lens seems a bit sharper, at least to my eyes, in the middle of the image. As we get to the corners of the image, it gets much softer though. At f3.2, a bit more contrasty, and the middle of the image is already as sharp as the f8 of the 1.4 equivalent. Smaller and cheaper lens is already performing better at a wider aperture. Yet the corners are still soft in comparison to the middle, but they improved as well. At f4, a bit sharper yet darker, and the corners get a bit sharper too. At f5.6, the middle stays sharp and the corners get sharper. At f8, the middle is even sharper than the more expensive one, and the corners are very defined as well. Well, alright, passing to the POV footage now. Please note that shots in the POV footage are not color graded. I will show the shots I liked and graded at the end of the video. As we slap on the XF-16mm 1.4, you feel a bit more drag in your hand, for it is double the weight of the other one. Its size makes it more noticeable. The focus speed is slower than the cheaper one, probably because it has bigger glass elements to move around. Lens makes color fringing on the very contrasty edges of the images. to the 2.8 version, you suddenly feel much lighter. Makes a great walk around lens for the size wise. And lets you respond in a much faster way. Focuses faster and the areas out of focus look more natural to the eye. Well, we have seen the daily performance of the lenses, and let's see how they behave in darker situations, and if the more expensive one is worth the money. Starting with it. I didn't find this lens too good in the low light situations either. I think being bulkier and heavier, it's harder to stood it still. Therefore, I had to raise my shutter and ISO accordingly. Well, now changing to the 2.8 version, I didn't find the two stops of light too important against the weight. So it's kind of easier to shoot low light with the cheaper option too. In conclusion, I don't think the 1.4 version is worth it by any means. So here are the shots I wanted to keep. Thanks for watching, guys, and goodbye.